Hello everyone, Sanskar here, and today we'll be talking about how we can fine-tune OpenAI models. So let's get started. This is what a fine-tuning pipeline looks like. Usually you have a base model, which is generated by a large lab, OpenAI in our case. They essentially train the model on the entire internet. And once we have that, we use a specific data set to make it perform better for our particular use case. So the most important part here is you need to spend a lot of time curating your data set because garbage in means garbage out. Once you have your data set, you run the fine-tuning pipeline, and then you have a fine-tuned model. And that's honestly it. So let's get to the code and start a fine-tuning pipeline. The plan for the day is to fine-tune a model that will allow us to take unstructured insurance data and spit out JSON from it. So as you can see here, this is some unstructured insurance data, and correspondingly, we expect a JSON like this for every data block that we have. I have created this notebook that will help you follow along. The first step is to obviously initialize the requirements, initialize OpenAI, set up the OpenAI key, and everything else. Now, for fine-tuning, like we said in the video earlier, the most important part is the data. And the data set will be split into two parts. One is a training data set. The other is the validation data set. The training data set, as it suggests, is the data set that we'll be using to train the model so that it can give you better answers. And the validation data set is a data set where we are very confident with the output. And we use that data set in the process of fine-tuning to verify that the model is going in the right direction, essentially. So OpenAI expects JSON-L, which is JSON lines file. So for example, here, you see this is the user content, which is the block of the insurance data set that we have here. So let's go back to training. All of them contain the insurance data set, which is a line by line representation of the data. And then in the role of assistant, we have the output that we expect. All of them are put in every line because we essentially know the output. And finally, we have a small validation data set where this data set will be used to verify if it's going in the right direction. I have created a very small data set. Usually the data sets are very large, and you can get them from Hugging Face, or essentially in real world AI, you have to spend a lot of time curating these data sets. And once these data sets have been created, the process is fairly simple. You go to the fine-tuning pipeline, you upload the training JSON-L, validation JSON-L, you upload them to the platform, and then select a base model. Today we are using GPT-4o Mini, but you can essentially try and test what base models you require. And then you just start a pipeline. So right now the job has been created. And in the monitoring process, it will take some time. Once it's complete, I'll come back and then we can proceed. To verify that your models are being fine-tuned properly, you can head on to platform.openai.com, go to fine-tuning, and see the fine-tuning status. This is a model that I fine-tuned previously. These are the ones that are being fine-tuned at the moment. You can see the loss curves, their accuracy, and once your model is ready, you'll get something like this. You'll get an output model ID and a job ID. We care about this part because this is what we'll be referring to when we are using this model in production. So now coming back to the code, you can see we have set in the fine-tuned model ID. Essentially now we'll be, instead of using the base GPT-4 model, we'll be using the 4o Mini model with the personal fine-tuning that we have done. We have set in this model ID, we have loaded the insurance input file that we talked about earlier. Now we'll be using our model where we are mentioning the fine-tuned model ID to come up and spit out the extracted JSON. It will take about 10 to 15 seconds. As you can see now, it's successfully extracting JSON from the raw data set that we had. And done. Now finally, we are just outputting the results, as you can see here. And let's save this to an output dataset file so that we can compare it one-to-one. So we were expecting something like this, and we have it. So we took in raw data, fine-tuned the model, and spit out the expected output that we were looking for. So that's pretty much it. This is how you fine-tune an OpenAI model. My name is Sanskar, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.